I literally get at least one person every week who makes a comment to me like, how do you manage so much? How do you have the bandwidth to take on all the responsibilities that you do? And I'm going to talk to you about it in this episode of the No Money Real Estate Podcast. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, my name's Ken Dunn, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America, and I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I've built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started.
Hey, listen, first thing I want to tell you, and again, this is related to real estate, but it's really about the mindset of somebody who's going to be successful in real estate. So I'm here now at our national headquarters. So Cottage Dream Vacations, as everybody knows, is a real estate development company. And we are developing cottage resorts across Canada. We own a group of short-term rentals. I just bought another cottage that closed yesterday. So I'm going to go up there and see it today. So we have cottages, we have short-term rentals in the city. We just signed a 25-year lease with our municipality. We're actually leasing the most historic building in this municipality, and we're opening a 5-star restaurant. For those of you guys that have never been here before, let me flip this around and show you. So essentially where I just showed you, I'm going to talk to you about some really important issues around mindset. In case you've never been to the office. So this is how much I love cottages. This is our headquarters. And if in case you're wondering why nobody's here, it's 6 o'clock in the morning right now. So when people come into our offices, they see cottages. Right here behind the front desk, this is our director of IT, Prasanna's office. Over here in the front is my office. They just keep me out of the way from everybody. That's Tammy Stanley, our president. This is our storage room. Then we have a little bit of a bullpen where we've got one of our finance clerks that's here, one of our legal clerks that's here, our marketing coordinator for all of our companies that's right here, and one of our IT guys. We have 2 full-time IT guys. And then over there is our finance director, our legal director, our marketing director, and our executive vice president of hospitality. And then this is our lunchroom, boardroom, so we have meetings in here all the time. And then I'll bring you over here and show you our recording studio. So the podcast shows that everybody sees all the time are done in here. Just in case you've ever wondered, there you go. And that's where Danny, our video director, works. Last thing I'm going to show you is another boardroom, which, yes, does end up being a bit of a storage room because we're growing. So we got another basically meeting room, executive room that we can use. And then over here is our sales area. So we're going to be opening 2 resorts in the next 12 months. And in order to keep expenses low at the resorts, we've actually decided that we're going to run our sales team out of here. At any resort or hotel, you're going to have salespeople. They're selling wedding packages. They're selling retreats for small companies. They're doing all kinds of sales. We're going to do it through one sales center right here. Anyway, it's literally just 5 after 6 in the morning. I'm here every day at 5 after 6. I wake up at about 5 o'clock at home. I get into the office at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just had this idea. So I got to give you a bit of a backstory. I was online this morning when I first woke up, as I often do. And what I like to do is just take a look at things that are related to my business. Well, while I was online, I happened to see a post by a mortgage broker that I know. And he was being very negative, very critical. He was criticizing the fact that in Ontario right now, in Canada, we are in a trade war with the United States, as everybody knows. And it is what it is. Our job is to figure out how to deal with that stuff and not be overwhelmed by it. Anyway, this particular person was criticizing the fact that the Premier of Ontario created a sanction yesterday where they stopped selling any American alcohol. And this mortgage broker that I know was criticizing that. And he was actually saying how stupid it was and that It's a reason why we need a new government. The most fascinating thing about it is the criticism didn't even make sense to me, because this person is somebody who is staunchly being public about his belief that we need a new government in our country, a federal government change. Well, this decision to stop selling American alcohol in LCBOs, in the liquor stores, was a provincial decision, and it was done by the premier, who is part of the party that this person supports. And it had me thinking about success, like ultimate success in life, and why I'm able to manage so much. And I wanted to just share this with you, these thoughts with you. There's only a few things that you truly can control in your life. And one of those things that you truly can control, and I think it's the most important thing for you to get control of, for us to get control of, is the way we think. I think it's the most important part of this. And you know what, these people who ask me all the time, how can you manage so much? How can you deal with the stress? This is the big thing I get, is how can you deal with stress the way that you do? And make no mistake about it, friends, I am under a significant amount of stress. I believe I'm under more stress than most people could ever handle. I have 3 resorts that we're building right now, and they're all having some type of issues. And I own a major gold mine that we lost about $1 million last year trying to figure it out. And I own a training company, and I have a public profile and image, and I have critics in the middle of all of this stuff. But none of that stuff phases me. What I do is I stay focused on positive energy. And I'll give you an example of that. Right now in Canada, we are facing significant challenges because of a trade war that just started. The President of the United States implemented a 25% tariff on all goods from Canada that go into the States. That affects 3 of my businesses significantly. And there's retaliatory tariffs going on right now, so that it's a trade war. Well, I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. And I have published a couple videos condemning the President of the United States for the way he's acting, but it doesn't affect me on a daily basis. And I'm certainly not going to go out and start publishing social media content expressing controversial opinions to push an agenda around this stuff. I just won't do it. And friends, I'm going to suggest to you that if you are really serious about making significant money in your life and building businesses and being a leader of people, I would strongly encourage you to act the same way. Here are some guidelines. Here are some absolute rules that I follow in my life. And I'm going to explain what some of these rules are. And then I'm going to kind of give you the background as to why I have these rules in my place. Rule number 1, I will not publicly criticize any other person. Entrepreneur, business owner, criminal, I won't do it. I just stay away from it altogether. And here's why. In my role as the CEO of a corporation, in my role where people follow me, if I'm the CEO of a corporation, if I own the company, I have employees. The offices that I just showed you is where 18 people in our headquarters team work every day. So I have 18 people who we pay here at this company to help us with our mission. And I am their CEO. Do you know what the CEO is in any corporation? The CEO is the example. It's the example. If you're running your own company, I want you, every business owner that ever watches this video, I want you to hear this clearly. If you're a business owner and you run an organization, you have a company and you have employees, if you have one employee, if you have a couple contractors, if you have people who you pay to help you, the most important thing I want you to understand about your relationship with those people is you are their example. You are going to set the pace of the culture in your organization. So if you're a negative person and you're always complaining about things and you're always criticizing other people, for whatever reason you're doing it. But if you're doing that stuff, the people who work for you and work with you are going to see that, and they're going to react to that. They're going to do the things that you do because they think it's endorsed because you do it. So if you've ever owned a company where there was a negative energy around the company, where there was negative trends going on in the company, where there was negativity, generally speaking, in that company, if you want to try and figure out why that is the case, look at yourself. The CEO of any corporation, their main role is to set an example that leads to the culture of the company. So I realized early on that in order for me to succeed in my mission, which is to build a company that owns 20 different resorts and hotels across Canada and over 100 cottages, I'm going to need a lot of help. We did a meeting about a month ago with most of our senior management team, and we estimated that when we get to 10 hotels and 50 cottages, we're going to need about 100 employees. If I want to build a culture and a company that has 100 employees in it, and people want to come to work, and people want to be a part of it, and they enjoy their work, the most important thing that I can do as the CEO is become the example for all those people. That's the secret. That's probably the most powerful leadership lesson I've ever learned in my life. And I've had many people in my life ask me if I could define leadership, what would that definition be? And I every time somebody asks me that, I say the same thing in one word. My definition of leadership is example. It's how I live my life. I'm in the office here at our headquarters most days by 6 a.m. 7 a.m. at the latest. Most days. There's going to be exceptions that I have meetings and responsibilities that I have that take me away from the office on certain days, but most days. I never tell anybody else they need to be there, but my senior executives are all in the office early, and they work late. They work past 5 o'clock. I never tell people to do that, but because I set the example, and I just love to work, so I'll come in at 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'm there till 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I never tell people what they do, but I look for the team members that go the extra mile, that love their work so much that they don't punch a clock. Because I'm setting that example, I see the people that do that. They just naturally do it too, because they love the work. And that's the people I want to mentor the most and want to help the most, because I can see them going that extra mile. What I do is I look for people. So now, even if I'm going to be this way and I'm going to take this example mindset for running my companies, there are still going to be people that get into my corporation that are negative, that are not good fits for our culture. And it's easier for us to see them because they just don't conform. They're negative. They're talking about issues. They're causing issues. They talk about other people. They're always looking for conspiracies. And those people don't survive in our organizations. They just don't. And it all goes back to the example. So the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast with you was just to help you to understand about the way I think and how I can manage so much. That was the essence of this. So the first part of me managing this stuff is understanding that I am the example to everybody around me. And that example is every part of your life. It's how you communicate. It's the time you take for your people. Like, don't be afraid to stop. Even if you're busy and stressed out, stop every once in a while and talk to your team members. And then even your physical fitness and your habits, you have to understand that the way you act, the way you are, what your habits are, the way your physical fitness level, all of that are setting the example for the people around you. Live your life that way. So I know that if I'm going to manage a lot, I have to stay in a positive space. I can't be negative. Now, here, listen very carefully to this. Negativity in your life is the killer of inspiration and thought processes and advancement of growth. Negativity is the killer of growth. Here's why. When you let negativity into your life, when you let yourself be negative, so whenever I look at a situation, I'm trying to figure out how to make it better. I'll give you an example. At Canadian Hot Tubs, our hot tub company, 80% of the products we sell go into the United States. We are now hit with a 25% tariff. The minute that happened, I have every right to be really negative and to be angry about it and panic. But instead, the way my mindset works, I don't know how to be negative. I won't be negative. I won't say negative things about other people. I won't criticize other people. The person that has the business that gets in trouble and goes bankrupt, I don't make comments about that. There's lots of other people out there that will make those comments. It's a waste of my time to do it. I'm staying completely positive. So what happens whenever I'm in a negative situation in one of my businesses, I don't know how to be negative about it. I will not criticize it. I don't turn into the angry person. You know what I do instead? Because I don't have that ability, I have literally created a mindset where I just don't have the ability to be negative. But because I don't have that ability to be negative, I'm constantly figuring out how to do the positive things, how to make things work. So immediately, as soon as I found out about these tariffs, because I didn't want to waste any time being negative, I said, how can I take advantage of that? And I started doing the math about what 25% actually meant. And I realized that because I wasn't focusing any of my energy on poor me, we're going to lose all this money, we're going to be in trouble. No, you know what I did instead? I said, how can I make that work for me? I went back to some suppliers and renegotiated some contracts. And I created a situation where I can offer people in America, so because 80% of our products go down there, our hot tub company is going to offer to eat the tariffs. So we'll figure out a way to take care of it on our side. And to turn lemons into lemonade, we're actually even going to cover the shipping. So we figured out a way to do that. Because there's no negative energy in my mind, I figured out a way to turn lemons into lemonade. And that's what's going to happen. So friends, here's the negative consequence of being negative in business. If you allow yourself to be critical, if you are the type of person who's criticizing other people, and normally where I see criticisms of other people most often in corporations, in businesses, is where the person is being critical or negative as a marketing tactic. See, there's people that are in some industries where they want to criticize and shoot at everybody that's not doing well. Somebody's having troubles in their business, they're the ones that shoot at them and criticize them. Oh, there's so many scam artists online. And they get like that, and they start shooting at them and criticizing them, and they're letting these negative energies into their own head. They end up struggling with their businesses. It is the worst. It's the opposite. When a business owner, when anybody that's in a position of influence spends their time being critical of other people and shooting at them and being the negative person online, they're allowing those negative thought processes into their mind. They're shifting the way they fundamentally think. And they're doing it because they think it's going to make them look more trustable themselves because they're pointing out the flaws in everybody else. But here's what's going to happen in the mind of the consumer. The mind of the consumer will start to think, sometimes in the subconscious, well, if he's saying those things about that person, what would he say about me? So it'll end up backfiring on you. So here's how I do it. Here's how I'm able to manage so much. It's all about my mindset and my thought processes. Number one, I do things every day that help my physical body alleviate stress. So I read every day. I have a cup of coffee in the morning. I do little things that help me get into the right mindset. Number two, I never focus on negativity. Now, I'm not saying I shirk my responsibilities. I'm running major corporations that are dealing with millions of dollars in revenue. So I have to take those situations seriously. I have to look deep into the heart of matters, and I have to make sure that everything is being managed properly, but I can do that in a positive way. I'm constantly pushing positive reinforcement. I never let myself be negative about anything. I stay positive about everything I'm doing, and I study and learn. I develop. I'm constantly trying to develop myself. Right now, I am going through a course of study to get my real estate license. I'm 54 years old and I'm getting my real estate license. I don't need it. I run 7 companies that do millions of dollars in revenue, but I loved the idea of getting my real estate license as a challenge. And yeah, I'm going to sell some real estate. I'm in real estate investing anyway, so it all makes sense. So I do something every year to try and develop a new skill, and I keep myself focused on that new skill attainment. And I stay positive about everything around me. I live my life understanding that I have significant influence online. I have significant influence in the world. And because of that, much is expected of me. There's an old saying in life, to whom much is given, much is expected. So because of that, it's expected of me that regardless of the stress that I'm going through, I need to stay positive. I need to stay focused on looking forward. I need to constantly remember that I'm the example to other people, and I need other people with me to accomplish the goals that I have. So the bottom line is this, friends. If you want to succeed at anything in your life, if you want to build a major corporation, if you want influence over other people, if you want to be able to manage multiple projects at the same time, the very first piece of advice I would give you is always focus on positive energy. Do not let negative energy into your life. Do not criticize other people for things that are going wrong in their lives. Don't be that person.